Hi, this video I'm going to show you some of the advanced features in Identity Cloaker. I'm basically showing you how you can hide your VPN connection. Okay, now one of the big problems for those of us who are really concerned about privacy, about using a proxy server or a VPN, is the fact that if you know what you're looking for, any network administrator or IT staff can tell you're using one. Okay, so it is detectable from your ISP logs, or if you're using it in a college or a company network. If you know what you're looking for and you look at the traffic, you might not be able to tell what the person's doing, but you can see they're using a VPN. Now, one of the primary reasons is because if you use a static VPN, so I make a static VPN connection to or a proxy connection, all my browsing, all my internet activity will go out through a single IP address, okay? Which is just not normal. If you weren't using one, you'd make requests to Google, Facebook, BBC, whatever. So you'd have lots of sends and receives going from different servers and different IP addresses. With a VPN, it's all channeled through a single VPN server. Okay, so I'm just going to look briefly at some of the settings you can configure in Identity Cloaker to prevent that, to make it much more discreet, and it does increase your security a lot. Okay, so the first one that's very easy to use is this Identity Cloaker here, and you can see these are all the servers you get access to in all the different countries. The setting I want to show you first is this one here, which is select proxy from. So you've got some different settings here. You can either set it last session, nearest place will look for the closest servers to you and use those, or you can pick any country, it'll just go any of the Identity Cloaker servers, or you can pick a country and it will just switch between different servers in that country. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're just configuring what servers to use there, and the second thing here is telling Identity Cloaker to switch your connection every so many minutes. So if you really wanted to be super secure, you'd put it they would change your connection every 1 minute. So in your logs, every minute there'd be connections going out through a different IP address, and if you set it to any country, it'd be going all over the world. It would be virtually undetectable unless you study the logs for quite a long time. There is a slight sort of stutter, if you like, when you reconnect, when the Identity Cloaker switches to another server. So you do see a little impact on your browsing, not much though. You can usually browse fairly perfectly well, even on the switching every minute. Bear in mind that some of the servers, depending on your location, will be slightly faster, so you might see a change in speed. So if you're that concerned, you just set it to nearest place or a specific country. I would say switching for something like 5 minutes, you practically won't notice, because you'd have to be doing something exactly at that spot when it switches. Okay, but that changes your IP address, and every minute or whatever you set it at, it'll switch. You can see down here it says proxy switch, and it'll tell you how. I've got it set at 1 minute there. In 30 seconds it's counting down now, and it'll switch to a different server. Apologies, I have to blur these out. It's best to keep these IP addresses private. Okay, so that probably is the most powerful setting here. If you do that, if you configure this, you won't be able to detect really that you're using a VPN. Now, when we're on the screen, I just want to show you the encryption level here. There are 3 settings for the encryption. If you get it to strong, none of your data is readable. It's set with 128-bit cipher. I'll just show you there. None is obviously no encryption at all. So anything that would normally be in clear text, which is quite a lot when you're browsing the web or sending email, will not be protected. But if you're watching a video stream, you remove that encryption overhead, okay? So if you're just streaming video on TV and there's no real data in there, change it to 0. The maximum is 256-bit AES cipher. That's the most secure. This is the sort of military level that encryption that can't really be broken. Okay, so those are the two settings. I'll show you quickly the other settings in the advanced here that you can use to configure it to hide your VPN even more. Here under cloaked applications, this is something you can do that really does hide the fact that you're using a VPN. What you can do is you can actually configure Identity Cloaker to only encrypt certain applications. So here you can tell it, you could have it so that it encrypts Firefox and doesn't encrypt Chrome. So you could perhaps have two browsers on the go and make sure one's encrypted and therefore goes through the VPN server, and the other one acts as a perfectly normal browser. So you could use one to keep yourself secure, and the other one if you just want to browse normal sites and you're not really concerned with security, just use that. Basically, you have to watch this little tick here. It says cloak all applications except for the above ones. Basically, its standard default setting has got this tick there, and everything is encrypted. That means every application that goes out to the internet, Messenger, email, FTP, everything goes out. And then you go up here and you tell it, don't encrypt Firefox, don't encrypt Chrome. It's a great way of making your browsing look really sort of secure, but it keeps that discretion there. It hides the VPN. Okay, slightly more advanced here. You can also tell your PC to redirect any of the cloaked devices. So you can pick up a port, say we're doing FTP or email, and you can tell it to redirect your internet connection on those ports. So any application that was using, for instance, 21 for Telnet or 25 for SMTP, you could tell it redirect onto a different port. That again adds another layer of security. You can tell it which port to use. Also, if you're in somewhere like China or somewhere like that where they've got quite advanced detection facilities, they will look for different ports that are being used. Here you can make Identity Cloaker look completely non-standard. You can tell it to use a completely different port to hide your location. I mean, these are really advanced features. If you're not bothered with this, just leave them alone. It works fine without it. But it does give you the advantage of perhaps using a different SSH port, or you can even start a local proxy server on your machine and relay through that. Again, it makes the fact that you're using a VPN completely indetectable. Okay, so it's the way you would hide your VPN. Okay, now I hope that's helped somebody. As I say, these are advanced settings. Most VPN programs don't even come close to being able to do this. And if you're just using it to basically hide your IP address and watch a few TV stations, use Netflix and stuff like that, you needn't really go into too much about this. Certainly look at the encryption level. You can turn it on and off depending on what you're doing, and switching the different proxy settings, different servers, adds a huge layer of protection. Just think that suddenly your logs are all going onto different servers all across the world, and of course all Identity Cloaker logs are wiped anyway, so you're really making your internet connection as secure as you possibly can. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll just finish the video now. If you've got any questions, have a look in the put them in the comments thing. There's also a discount voucher if you're interested in Identity Cloaker. Please use it. It knocks 15% off. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.